Okay, I have to keep. I have to go back and talk about Indiana Jones since I've been playing it quite a lot. Because at the start, it actually did seem better than what it was, at least slightly. This is gonna be like a proper video with all my impressions. I haven't finished it yet, but I'm almost at the end. There's only one location left for me to go through. So I think I can say like clearly what are my thoughts and what I think about this game. The game is actually, I would say, no more than a seven. Like I said before, I would say it's between a sixer and a seven because it has so many flaws, so many fucking flaws. The fact that people are giving this thing reviewers, but also I've seen quite a few people saying this game is very good. Where? How? I don't get it. Like I've seen everything this game has to offer. This game is very mediocre. It's repetitive as hell. The story is not really that good, honestly. It's nothing to write home about. The gameplay is okay. It's nothing special. I actually think the first person hurts this game quite a bit. What else? It's just not good enough to be getting all these crazy evaluation, crazy like numbers. How do you want to call them? Like it just makes me think that there was a huge shilling campaign because honestly, like 9 and 10s. No, this game is, like I said, it's a 6 or 7 at best. So let's start talking about like the game itself, the structure of the game. On the surface, it looks very similar to, what can I say, a Deus Ex, similar, that kind of thing. But it's actually way more shallow because this game claims to be, or at least I've seen people claiming to be, it's a sim-ism, but it's really not, honestly. The mechanics are very loose, are very approximative. There's really nothing that goes in depth. It's just done this way to give you the impression of depth, but it's actually not deep at all. It's very shallow. The mechanics are shallow. The stealth is laughable. It's pretty much Metal Gear Solid 1 levels of stealth. The combat is okay. It's fun enough that it's serviceable. You unlock abilities by getting books and unlocking them with the XP you get throughout the game. I think they're called adventure points. And each book has a special ability that either serves you well to improve your abilities in combat or movement or exploration, that kind of stuff. It's very self-explanatory. Like I was saying, the combat is okay per se. It's nothing to write home about either, but it's fun. It can be fun because the punching feels good. The sounds feels good when you whip and punch. The problem is that it's jank. It feels jank. It's a first-person combat that feels pretty jank. Especially when there's a lot of enemies on screen, you can see clearly they did not test this properly, in my opinion. But I'll talk a little bit more about this later. Why I think this. So, like I said, stealth is laughable. The combat is okay. The strongest point this game has to offer is the exploration. But the problem I have with the exploration is that the maps are too fucking big. It just becomes a chore to explore the maps, because I was starting to get bored of this. Like after the second big map, at the end of the second big map, I was starting already to get fed up with doing fetch quests, going back and forward. Yeah, there's a like quick travel, but honestly, it doesn't make up for it. It just doesn't make up. The quick travel doesn't save this game. Like it doesn't save Starfield. It's just a fucking chore to move around the map because they're too fucking big. A game like this didn't need to have maps this big, because it just pads out the experience. It gives you the Metal Gear Solid Phantom Pain experience. Like you'll find yourself walking around these fucking maps for a long time with nothing to see or to do. Maps should have been a bit smaller, because for a game like this, it's just too much. It makes the game feel like a fucking slog. And also the maps themselves are pretty empty overall. There's, I mean, maybe, okay, in the Vatican, which is the first map, it's probably the map that's more jam-packed with stuff, because it's not the biggest one. It's actually, I would say, it's the right extension for a map, the Vatican one. That's the biggest one it should have been. It shouldn't have gone above that. But no, with the Egypt, which is the second one, they go way overboard in that sense. And it's also emptier than the Vatican. And the quests are, I don't know, they're mostly fetch quests, honestly. They are very, very repetitive, very boring. Collectathons, what else? Like, get this object, bring it to me, unlock this safe, this kind of stuff. And when you, like, even when you solve the quests, the secondary quests, the rewards are nothing to write home about. Like, there's no incentive to do these things. I don't know, I just don't find them fun, amusing, interesting. They're a fucking chore. Absolutely. This is the kind of game. If you have to 100% this game, you're gonna stay here for a long fucking time. This is the type of game that the people who play these types of game play only one game per year, because it takes them months to 100% it. It's fucking ludicrous. Horrible, fucking horrible. Horrible pace. The pace is horrible as well, because you find yourself walking with nothing, when a lot of minutes of walking around and nothing happening. Yeah, you maybe happen to stumble into like into a minor puzzle to solve, a secondary quest to solve, but it's fucking boring. Absolutely coma inducing. Which is, I mean, it seems to be like a pattern when it comes to Bethesda games. They all suck in this sense. The exploration is very, I don't know, it's very slow, boring, and uninteresting. This game, I think it's mostly, like I said, because the maps are too big. Because if they were smaller, it would have been more interesting. The the movement is also feels clunky, because the game is first person, and like I said, I don't think they have tested it well enough. So there's a lot of jank, a lot of bugginess. It feels very unpolished. You can tell. Like, there's a section in which you have to move around one of the locations with a boat, and the boat you can see like the vegetation clips through the boat when you move around. It really makes you question, like, did they actually stop like beta testing, putting effort into this after the second map? Because this is the impression I'm getting. Like, the game starts well enough, strong enough, but it goes like off a cliff after you finish the Egypt portion. Just become a fucking slog. There are too many fucking puzzles, honestly. There are a damn a dozen. And they're very, very brain dead for the most part. Some of them will also be recycled for the secondary quests, so you'll find yourself solving the same puzzles. Like mostly the safe puzzles, so in the sense that you have to find out the combination to a safe. Nothing to write home about, like I said. Overall, I get the impression that they didn't know what the fuck they wanted to do with this game, because there's a lot of choices that clash more likely between each other. Like I said, the presence of guns but the lack of blood when you shoot enemies, for the most part, yeah, there's like a tiny bit of droplets of blood, but then they got absorbed by the clothes. It's fucking weird. I don't know if it's bugged, but you'll see what I mean if you shoot an enemy. Then what else? Like the stealth is so easy that it's laughable. Like I said before, I understand why they put it in, but I don't know. They could have made it a little bit more enticing. The enemies are either too easy or too strong. Like, going forward, they become bullet sponges, honestly. Damage and bullet sponges. It makes me even not want to use the fire weapons, because even though you can upgrade the damage they do, they are just not fun to use. The enemies are bullet sponges. It takes like a magazine, almost a magazine, to kill one enemy. And you reload your gun either with the guns you picked up or the gun you have. I mean, you can only reload the gun you have, so like the revolver. The ones you pick up, you cannot reload, I think. But you reload your gun so fucking slow. Oh. That's a common theme with this game. The pacing is just so fucking slow. It's so fucking slow, it's so fucking boring. This is a game for boomers. And I say this as a boomer myself in a funny way. It's just a slog to get through. Like, if you're the kind of person that likes slow, like paced games, yeah, you're gonna enjoy this game. But this game goes way overboard with the slugginess. It's a snail-paced game. But I was saying the weird choices in terms of gameplay, with guns not being like very powerful. You die very easily, even if you upgrade your health. The enemies in the later sections can wreck you very easily, especially if they shoot at you. You die very easily when they shoot at you, unlike the enemies when you shoot them. Same with melee combat. The enemies become way too strong. They can wreck you with 3 max punches. So at the beginning they are too easy, but then they become two damage sponges. Too much of a damage sponge. Absolutely. You can. I mean, in my opinion, they didn't play test this very well, because it doesn't feel like it was beta tested or play tested at all. Game is very unpolished. There's a lot of bugs, clipping through objects, clipping through vegetation, dialogue lines that are repeated over and over, even when it doesn't seem like they should be. I don't know. It's just very alpha. This game is very alpha. It's the definition. It's the epitome of Game Pass slop. Absolutely. If I did pay for this, I'm playing it through Game Pass. If I actually did pay, sorry, for this, I will feel cheated because honestly, this game is not has not been polished very well. Like in terms of gameplay, the mechanics. Let's talk a little bit about the mechanics. There's your character has an health bar, a stamina bar. You replenish those with the medikits. You can replenish your health bar with medikits. You can replenish your shield, kind of like it's kind of a shield bar that goes above your health with food like bread, cookies, sandwiches, crackers, and so on. That type of food. And then with fruit, you replenish your stamina bar. Or you can just rest and stay still, and the stamina bar regenerates. Each action you perform consumes stamina. So of course you can't spam like punches or whip. Kind of like an Elder Scrolls game. But of course you can upgrade all this stuff, the regeneration as well. Which, I mean, there's nothing bad with this. It's your standard, like, sort of RPG mechanics in this sense. It's pretty self-explanatory in this sense. But the problem I have with all this whole, like, thing is that everything feels clunky. Like, you have to, for every single bar of health, you have to use a medikit. And it's fucking clunky as hell because it's not very responsive when you use those things, the fruit, the medikits. Even highlighting them in the menu and when your character picks them up, it feels very jank and unresponsive. So it's a very janky experience overall. Also because, like I said, you can replenish only one fucking health bar at a time. At least I haven't seen any other way to make it faster, so it's very fucking slow and annoying. So I don't know. I think I've said everything. I haven't finished it yet, but like I said, I'm at the end. This game is very, very fast. When it comes to stuff being woke, it's not as bad as I thought, but it is pretty woke. Just subtly enough that doesn't make you think, oh, this game is woke. No, it is woke. Because they put a fucking lesbian in Egypt in 1936. A lesbian. In a Muslim country in 1936. And they even have the nerve to to give them like the reputation of being a womanizer. But maybe they don't realize that someone like this couldn't stay in Egypt if people actually knew she was a lesbian. They would fucking lynch her. And this is one. Then like there's the rebel of the leader of the rebels in the Thailand section. That's a woman leader rebel in 1936 or 1940. I mean, around that time period. Yeah, it's very credible. Very credible. What else? The Gina, your companion, is not as annoying as I thought. So, she's okay. She's a bit of a bitch sometimes, but it's whatever. It's better than I thought. She's not a complete bitch. She is okay, more or less. Indiana Jones instead. I mean, at the beginning he's fine, but it seems like he goes through like some sort of a pussification as the game goes on, because he like wants to hang out with Gina, even though at the beginning he's all like, oh, I like to be on my own and stuff, but then he goes, no, we should stick together, and he wants to stay with her, which is, I mean, it feels like very out of character for him. And even when at the end, I think at the end, from what I've read, he's the one that wants to stay with her, and instead she says, no, we can stay together, I have stuff to do. So they kind of swapped the roles, because usually it's the man who says that in a love story, but yeah. And I mean, in general, I'm kind of tired, honestly, of Nazis being the bad guys in these types of stories that take place in the 40s and late 30s. Because honestly, like, it's been overdone. Also, this game is not very subtle about like their propaganda, in the sense that it doesn't lose any occasion to make you know, oh, Nazis are really bad people. I mean, I don't really care about this kind of stuff. Like, make them bad guys, make them your adversaries, your enemies, but you don't have to point out every 2 fucking seconds that they were the bad guys, how much of a bad persons they are, because I don't give a shit. I don't want to know your moral compass. Like, they're bad guys, I know, but don't fucking point it out every 2 fucking seconds, because it seems like you're trying to chastise me, to lecture me. You know, they're really bad people. Yeah, I know. You don't need to repeat it every 2 fucking seconds. And also, like I said, I'm really fucking fed up with this whole Nazi thing, because this game feels like, I mean, the franchise in general, the Nazis are the enemies a lot of the fucking time. Feels like a Jewish revenge fantasy. And honestly, I'm fucking fed up with this whole thing. Just give us different enemies. Like, the Temple of Doom, the enemies were cultists. Yeah, give us more of that. I'm fucking tired of Nazis, honestly, because they have been overplayed to fucking death. They're not interesting anymore. They're not, like, they don't have the charm anymore that they had before. I just, when I see enemies being Nazis in a game, I just lose interest nowadays, because they have been so fucking overdone. It was like it was kind of like Middle Eastern enemies in the early Call of Duties, I guess. Yeah, so kind of like that, but not really, because Nazis have really been overdone. So yeah, no, thank you. And last but not least, what the fuck they were smoking when they gave this game these 9s and 10s? Honestly, this game has been way fucking overvalued. This is why when I say don't trust these people, don't trust them, because this game is not a 9 out of 10. This is not even a 8 out of 10. This game is very half-assed, shallow, mediocre overall, with some interesting ideas, some fun gameplay mechanics. But also, I think it's very... This game is hurt a lot by it being first person. It should have been third person. Would have been definitely less janky and more fun. But overall, like I said, don't trust these people. This game is not like a masterpiece or anything like that. It's very mediocre. Don't buy it full price. Either play it on Game Pass, or wait until it drops to $10. I wouldn't pay anything more, unless you're a really big Indiana Jones fan, and then I guess maybe buy it when it's $30. But don't do it otherwise. Wait for a price drop, big one. Because like I said, fucking YouTubers, fucking reviewers, this game is slop, and they try to tell you, no, it's a masterpiece. No, it's fucking not. You're a fucking piece of shit. cock shill if you think this game is a masterpiece. And I stand by what I fucking say, because I don't get paid to shill this stuff. I wanted to play specifically this game because I fucking knew the reviews were not genuine. I fucking knew it, and I was right. So keep this in mind. I'll never get tired saying don't trust reviewers, especially for games published by Microsoft and Bethesda and Sony. I don't know who else. Maybe Ubisoft, because there's quite a few Ubisoft shields, but not all reviewers are Ubisoft shields. But yeah, keep this in mind. These people are not your friend. They're trying to sell you slop. So, but yeah, I said everything I want to say. I'll keep playing until I finish it. I don't think there's much left. And this is it. I'm not gonna replay it because this game is a fucking slog. This is definitely a game you don't want to replay. So, but yeah, as usual, let me know your thoughts. If I don't make another video, I wish you a very good Christmas. If I don't make a video before Christmas, another one, of course, like I said, I wish you a very good Christmas. And I'll catch you in the next video. So, hope you enjoy. Like, comment, subscribe, and all that good stuff. Catch you soon, guys. Bye-bye.